Analytics. To access the Analytics, log into your account and select the Analytics tab. You will receive a list of available links to your presentations. Here you can see link title, name of the author of the presentation, the name of the presenter, link creation date. Right above the list of links, you can see a summary of all the activities associated with your presentations. In special blocks, such total indicators as the number of links you have created, the number of users who clicked on the links, number of times the presenter was called by the listener, number of completed lead forms, average time spent by the listener on the presentation. In addition, you can generate a report for a specific time period. Link analytics. Each link to a presentation can be analyzed by parameters, including how many times the link was opened, how many lead forms were filled out by listeners, how many times the listener joined the presentation, chatted, called the presenter. What is the percentage of link joins, the ratio of the total number of clicks on the link and the number of times the listener called the presenter, how many slides the listener viewed, average time spent viewing a presentation by link, date and time when the link was last clicked. You can filter information by any parameter. To do this, just click three dots icon next to the column name and select the action. Session analytics. Each link can also be analyzed in more detail. To do this, simply click on the link you are interested in. As a result, you will see a screen with detailed information about how and for how long the audience interacted with the presentation, whether lead forms were filled out, whether the presenter was invited, etc. At the top of the screen, you can see basic information about the presentation, its type, language, presenter, detail, and number of views. Also, here you can search for links for a specific time interval. Below the general information block, there is more detailed information about how listeners interacted with the presentation via the link. In the table, you can see the details for each session separately. Here you can see when was the presentation delivered, how many slides were viewed during the session, how much time was spent watching the presentation, whether the listener called the presenter, wrote messages in the chat, how many times the presenter has joined the session, how many times the listener changed the presentation detail. At the bottom of the screen, you can see another session summary analytics block. In special windows here, you can see % of listeners who watched the presentation to the end, called the presenter or sent a message to the chat, marked at least one slide using the reactions. The final block of this screen is a diagram that allows you to visually assess which of the presentation slides aroused the greatest interest of the listener. The x-axis shows the slide numbers. The y-axis shows what percentage of the total duration of the presentation was spent on a particular slide. You can get even more detailed information for each session. To do this, select the session you are interested in from the table. This will take you to a screen with more detailed information about the session. Here you can see information about the listener's interaction with each slide of the presentation, how much time the listener spent on each slide, whether he took any action, whether he left reactions. At the bottom of the screen, you can also see all the chat conversations between the listener and the presenters while watching the presentation. Read the comments left by the listener to each slide. See a detailed graph showing how much time the listener spent on each specific slide.